it's a lot. And for people to always be like, oh yeah, internships are so important. They make or break your like career matriculating through college. That's a damn lie, honestly.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
And Mariah.
And Alyssa.
And today we're talking about internships and networking.
Guys, I don't have that much experience because nobody wants to give me an internship.
Oh,
That's real.
that's real.
That's real.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a very valid point because a lot of people always be like, they'll emphasize how, internships and it's so important, but they fail to be like, they're not realistic with it because they act like you can just pull an internship out of thin air. And it's so hard. I feel like it's so hard to actually obtain the internship because reaching out to people, okay, you can reach out to people all you want. They're not responding, I don't feel like. Like, people don't respond, or you're just doing the internship because you're being told, oh, this is something that you need to do in college, not necessarily like, oh, this actually aligns with something I want to do career-wise or what I'm, like, majoring in and things like that. I feel like people push, like, internships and how it's such a big deal, but they don't necessarily, like, talk about how not realistic, like, this. I feel like it's more like an aesthetic thing when it comes to how people talk about internships. More so, like, tapping into reality and being like, internships are actually kind of hard to obtain, especially depending on your major. And we're communication majors, a lot of us. I feel like for us, internships are everywhere, but nowhere at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll also say, I went to the internship fair that Morgan just had about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was actually very interesting to go there because there were so many people there. But I will say 2 things. One, a lot of the franchises or businesses that were there were only catered to like STEM and business.
And that's why I stopped going to like the career fair because they never have anything catered for like outside of STEM. Because like I've went every year since freshman year. This is the first year I didn't go because I was just like, I'm tired of being disappointed. I go there, I ask, even though I know they're gonna say like, yeah, I don't really think we have anything for you. But like I got tired of going over there.
Yeah, and that's my second thing. A lot of the people that I talked to, they didn't even have internships. Like, they were just there. They were just
promote themselves.
They were just there to promote themselves. Like, they were just at a table and they were giving out free stuff, but they weren't giving out internships.
Right.
How are you at an internship fair and you're not giving out internships?
Right.
That is, like, what throws me off a lot of it. Because there was, like, I think there was at least maybe, like, 100 tables there.
Yeah.
And for not all 100 or however many tables were there to not have an internship, why were you there?
Right.
That's like my whole
defeating
thing.
the purpose of being
You're defeating it's literally called an internship fair.
Right.
Not a networking fair. Like, yes, okay, great. You got some networking opportunities, okay, but what is that going to do for you? Right. Especially like
when they're not in your field.
When they're not in your field, and also it's April and it's about to be summer and people are looking for summer internships.
Right.
Or like some of the people, they had internships were like, oh, like the internship we have is like full now, like we don't have anything else. Maybe you can try next year. Next year?
Right. Like,
next
what?
I'm
By
gonna be a senior.
Right. By then, I'm just going to give me a part-time job.
Yeah, at that point, like, please, do you have any, like, actual applications? Can I apply somewhere? Like, do you have a job open for me?
Right.
Forget the internship, but
and
that is my biggest pet peeve right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Literally.
why are you here?
Right.
And I applied to so many, and like the worst thing about internships too is that like if it's at a big company, most of the time they don't even email you back to tell you that you didn't get the role. I was so shocked when I got like 2 emails the other day because I applied for like something at like Warner Brothers, something at Odyssey. I was so shocked when they actually emailed me to tell me I didn't get the role because I was just like, oh, I thought I was just gonna go unknown.
Right.
Because a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
like,
they just kind of ghost you. But it's real unprofessional when we ghost companies. But y'all do it to us all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
let's talk
and
about
the thing
it.
is just like, well, we get so many applicants, we can't really inform. You can inform the people who didn't get an interview. It's
You
not
right.
that hard.
Like,
Like
you
a
literally
nice
have
automatic
you have
email.
my information. You could let me
Literally
know.
just an auto email. Sorry, you weren't selected. Thank you. Try again.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Or
Like,
no.
that's all I need. Like, I
Literally.
just need to know where a yes. And
Right.
you just leaving me undelivered is crazy.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, I did all that work. I gave you the recommendation letter. I gave you my resume. I gave you a cover letter.
Right.
I gave you everything that I needed. All you had to do was tell me yes or no.
Right. And then to piggyback off what you said, like, you know, internships, a lot of them are like pushing for STEM roles. Even that, being a former STEM role, I went to a whole ass conference in Texas, SWE, which is Society of Women Engineers. I went there. Oh my goodness, the requirements is crazy. Like for internship, you have to have a lot of them always require experience. How am I gonna bring experience if nobody's hiring? You know what I mean? Because like it was like Cat, it was Walmart there, they had Apple there, and of course they always want you to bring your resume and this, that, and third. Half the people are so hard to even talk to. Then let's talk about, you know, always getting LinkedIn, because everybody wants to push for getting LinkedIn. People don't respond. Honestly, LinkedIn is just like a professional Instagram. I'm just watching what y'all do.
Literally. And then also to piggyback off of that, it really is just a professional Instagram, because why am I getting spam DMs from a professional app?
Right.
Why are
Literally.
people talking about, hey Jasmine, do you want to learn how to do da 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 da?
No,
I'm like,
I
no.
don't.
And then it's always asking me, oh, pay this much amount. You could upgrade to talk more. I don't want to talk to you. No. Like, it's so.
Like the fact that I have to pay to get a job is so wild.
Like,
or
I'm trying to
do
get a
like
job 'cause I
so
don't
many
have money.
steps.
Like,
Right. To do so many steps, like you were saying, cover letter, resume, recommendations, word of mouth. Somebody got to vouch for me in some type of capacity. It's a lot. And for people to always be like, oh yeah, internships are so important. They make or break your like career matriculating through college. That's a damn lie. Honestly, I work full time and I go to school full time and I work with Marriott. Like I have like potential to grow in my like current role at my job without having to get an internship. I just work. And I work at the front desk and things like that. So it's like when people be like, oh, they push internships and how important they are, they don't always tell you, you know, yes, it's the networking portion that's important. Getting the internship is just a plus if you get it, because it will most likely like introduce you into like the real world aspect of what your field would look like. Like again, being in communications, like if you do PR, you go intern for a PR agency. They're going to introduce you to what it looks like in the real world, because being in college, I feel like it's not necessarily like it's not the real world, but I feel like it's more, I don't know what word I'm looking for,
real
but
world
it's
adjacent.
Yeah, in a way. It's more like, anyway, I can't figure out the word, but they kind of like closet us in. They give us like the tips and tricks of what it could be, but it's not like the reality of what it would look like, if that makes sense. Because we would go into these roles, like they tell us, hey, if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this is what it will look like. But that's not the reality of it. Because I was just in Dr. Duckett's class the other day. No, Dr. Powell's class the other day, talking to this lady who is an alum from Morgan State, but she went to Morgan. Then she left Morgan, went and did whatever she did with her life, runs a whole PR agency and ad agency and things like that, and then came back and was like, oh yeah, she just wanted to end up getting the degree. But she had the experience because she did the work outside, and she did it herself. Like she didn't necessarily go find somebody to assist her. That's what the internship is. It's like a guided process in a way. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's
That's
just
really
somebody
what it
helping
is.
you, but
Just holding your hand.
yeah,
through the
just
whole
holding your
process,
hand,
yeah.
do it through it, because
And
at the end of the
they
day,
might give you a job.
right?
if
They
you do
might,
really
and
good.
that's the thing. They might give you a job if they like what you did and da da da. So it's like it's all about like networking and it's like a popularity contest, really. It's like they say. It's
Really.
like my
But
mama
you-
always said that to me. It's not what you
do
know, but
is
who you know.
Yeah.
Because you might look good on paper, but if you
Yeah.
go to that job and they don't
You
like
can't
you,
do
but you're
anything.
not getting the job.
Yeah.
And if you have potential, but you don't have you're not hitting all the boxes. If you have potential and you're willing to learn, they're most likely going to pick that person over the person that has got every single box checked, but they're like, oh, they don't have the personality, or they don't have, like, they're missing some type of something that the company wants or whatever. So it's just like, it's all just about, it's a hit or a miss. You know, you can or you can't. So it's just a learning experience, but it's kind of hard. And it's like very discouraging too, because it's like after so many, like you were saying, they don't even, if they don't tell you, you know, you apply to something, they don't tell you nothing. That disappointment sets in because you don't even go to the career fair no more. Neither do I. Because, first of all, why?
No, but literally, it was an internship, and like we were supposed to do these clips, and we had to make these clips work with nothing. And like I tried my best, I tried my hardest, I did everything I could. At the point, it was just like, you're giving me too much work and asking me to create miracles. And then when I tried to like go resign, she was just like, yeah, you can't even resign. You haven't completed your 30 days yet. I was like, what do you mean I can't resign? I'm not doing it anymore. And she's like, I can't resign. And then when I said, so you have to do like another 2 weeks. I was like, okay. I did the next 2 weeks. And then I sent my resignation in again. She's like, you can't resign again. And then 2 days later, they terminated me. Girl, why are you terminating me? I resigned like 4 times. And it was just like, you're making me do all this work. Like, I'm an actual employee. Mind you, it wasn't even like a paid internship. It was a school credit internship that I couldn't even use the school credits for.
Ours wasn't even school credit.
And like, I couldn't even use the credits because I wasn't in the internship class. So it was really just, I was getting absolutely nothing out of it other than like, I'm doing free labor and stress.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of this stress also comes from our advisors.
Yeah.
Because I had a meeting with my advisor to like do my classes for next semester, and she basically told me that I wouldn't be graduating May of 2026. I would be graduating like December of 2026. And I was like, why? Because like I have like, you know, I have like maybe like 6 more classes per semester that I need to like take for me to be like done. And she's like, oh, well, you can't take this class and this class and this class together, and you're gonna have to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, so are you saying that I can't do these because you don't think I can do these? Or are you saying I can do them, you just don't recommend it? Because those are two different things.
You can get overrides.
Right.
There's plenty of people that get overrides and do them at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's that, like, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't do. Like, physically. Like, if you're like, oh, no, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, you can give your suggestion.
Crazy. You can give a suggestion,
but at the end of all, it's my decision.
Yeah, like, my grade is my grade. Like, yes, you're my academic advisor, but I can see degree works just as much as you can.
Right, and I think I definitely have a point to that, too. Because people always tell me, you know, go to your academic advisor. They're there to help you. Your professors are there to help you. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are the hindrance.
Yes.
And I feel like
they want more money out of you.
Yeah, I feel like
I have friends that didn't graduate on time because they didn't because their advisor didn't tell them what to take, or they told them to drop classes when they didn't need to drop them. And
like that's why. Not necessarily saying that I don't listen to my advisor. She's cool or not.
Oh, I don't listen to mine.
But
I'm not listening to her anymore.
But you know, it's my college experience at the end of the day. I'm going to take it into my own hands because I don't know my advisor. You're my advisor and things like that. But it's not like, oh, we don't have that
every day.
Yeah, and we don't have that connection where it's like, okay, like my mom, because I was talking to her about taking a class in the summer, and she was like, well, you know, you kind of do some things last minute. This might not be the best idea for you to do it in the summer. And I'm like, you know what? You're so real for that. But like talking to my advisor, I'm like, hey, I want to do this class, or I don't want to do this class. And she's kind of like, oh, you know, do it or don't. It's like, it's not necessarily a help. It's a hindrance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because my mom will always be like, you know, talk to your advisor. I'm like, girl, I do.
Yes,
but at the end of the day,
trying, but like they're not really giving me the answers I really need.
like at the end of the day, I'm just gonna figure it out. And if I figure it out and fail, okay, I can take it again. If I figure it out and pass, pat on my back, I just completed something that's in my degree work, something like that.
Yeah, like even in the conversation I had with my advisor, she was like, literally like the first thing she said, she was like, okay, so how many classes do you want to take? I said maybe like 5 or 6. She's like, okay, I think you should take 5.
My advisor said the same thing, that she was like, you know, taking 6 classes is a lot. Granted,
it really isn't.
Granted, it's the max credits.
One of them is a online class. So technically, I only have 5 in-person classes, and I have an online class. So it's not like I have to go to a class. I just have to turn in the work for it. And like the way my schedule is, like I have Tuesdays and Thursdays to complete that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah. And it's like we know ourselves. Like we're literally setting up our schedule to our availability.
Yeah.
We're doing this for a reason. And I feel
we've been doing this for so long now.
Right.
Like, we're juniors and seniors in college. I'm not a sophomore, freshman. And
Right.
if I was a sophomore or a freshman, I'm going to listen to you because I just got here. I've been here.
Let's say I actually have never listened to my advisor.
Really?
No. They always, because I'm the type of person, I like giving myself more work to give myself less work later. So, like, when I started school, I took 6 credits. I took 6 classes every semester. And, like, if I had really tried and, like, took a summer class, I probably could have graduated this semester, like, a whole year early. I just chose not to.
Right.
Literally just chose not to. And now she's already telling me, it's like, well, you know, you could graduate in the fall. I'm just like, I didn't say I was graduating in the fall. I said I was graduating in spring. She's like, well, it's your money. I know. I think so.
Right.
I think they just have some, like, hidden vendetta. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really weird, and I don't know if it's, like, everyone's advisor or if it's just this building's advisors, but I don't know. My advisor just really rubbed me the wrong way this
I would
last
say
time.
it might more so be this building, because when I was an engineering major, my advisor was spot on. I'm telling you, she would make us, well, sometimes it would piss me off, but she would be having advisement meetings like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, making sure everybody was doing what they're supposed to do. She was very motherly in a sense, like, you know, reaching out to people. I still go visit her to this day, and she would reach out to people like, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you do that? She would make our schedules and then be like, okay, does this align with you and stuff like that? Now, sometimes with some people it might have been a little overbearing, but it's like when you're having somebody who supports you in that manner, it really does make your college experience a little bit better, because having all these classes is overwhelming and things like that. And it, you know, back to like our parents and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like our parents, well, I don't feel like our parents are not living our college experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes they'll try, if your parents and things went to college, they'll try to push their experience on you. Because I know my mom does that from time to time. I'm like, Mommy, this is, like, I can do more or I need to do less because it's not working and I need to find some type of balance. And then she'll give her opinion. And I'm like, I don't like your opinion.
Yeah,
and
like,
then
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
but like,
it's like I don't like
your
your opinion. And then when I was transferring, because I went to a different school and I was in Alabama, and I told her I absolutely hate this school. I want to go back to Morgan. And I was like, I'm gonna leave during the semester. And now she did give me a good reason. She's like, you know, you might sort of stick it out through the year because that might mess with financial aid and stuff like that. Yeah, cool and all good. And then when I got here, I was like, okay, I hit the ground running. I'm like, I knew exactly what I wanted to do and things like that originally, because I did switch my major like 5 times. But but I was like, I had a plan and I was sticking to that plan. And then when I was like, okay, I take a math class, I fail it every fall, let me take it again in the spring and I pass it. And I'm like, okay, so I guess this kind of works out. Let me only take my math classes in the spring. I'll take harder classes in the spring because clearly I do better then. And it's like when I was asking my mom to help me, she's like, well, when I was in college, when you were in college 20 years ago at a different university, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they'll try to, like, vicariously relive their college experiences through us. It's like, I am a person outside of you with different needs and things like that. So it's like, I understand that you're trying to help, but in the same way that you're trying to help me, you're essentially hurting me.
Yeah, especially because for me, my mom went to a PWI. And
My mom went to a HBCU. I don't play that shit.
She
Damn
went
white
to a
people.
PWI and she stayed in state for college.
Yeah.
So her experience and my
Very
experience
different.
are two completely
Very
different things.
Yeah.
Even my dad, like my mom and my dad, even my stepmom, they all stayed in state. They all went to PWIs. So none of them really know my experience like how I know my experience.
Right. Traveling out of state and going to a HBCU and
Yeah.
you're hours away.
Yeah.
So
it's like I see where you're coming from. I appreciate your advice. I'm going to take it into consideration.
But
it's also like I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like she's also like how you were saying, like talk to your teachers, talk to your advisor and things like that. Like I told her, I was like, I do. It's just like really like you never know who's really against you and who's for you.
You're right.
And like you can't just talk to everybody because everybody's gonna give you a different opinion. Everyone's gonna give you a different outlook. So it's just like I don't know who I can talk to and who I can't talk to.
Right. And I would say, especially coming from my mom's like college experience, my mom does very well in school. My mom is an academic weapon. She can get it down. I used to call her, like, she'll be like, oh yeah, I call her like a walking dictionary. Because if you ask her a question, she has a fucking answer every single time. But it's like, your experience is different than me because when you were in college, you went for a ride. You had a job. She had a job out of college. She had a job. The job that she had, her internship, is the job that she's working with right now. 25 years later. You know what I mean? And when she was in school was different back then, 20 years ago. I feel like college was probably more academic and family oriented, especially HBCU culture. Like, my